Welcome along. Just looking at the messages here. A few people having some trouble signing on. I don't know whether that's today's update or not from indieVelo, but certainly some joining issues according to the messages I'm getting. Anyway, let's not let that spoil it for the rest of us. 3 minutes to go. The final race of Series 12. The next two Mondays happen to be Christmas Day and New Year's Day, so no point scoring races on those. We're going to put one on for Christmas Day if you want to use it, but it won't count towards the series. New Year's Day, we're thinking about that one maybe. We're going to then take a break for January because Tour du Monde's on. You just saw the advert, and there'll be an advert for that, at least one before we get off air tonight. So Tour du Monde taking place on indieVelo during January. So we start again on February the 5th. With Series 3. So look out for that Monday, February the 5th. Now, tonight, it's the Flat 8 course. We can have a look at that. This involves a little bit of, I don't know, a couple of ramps around the lake, shall we say, if that's not a euphemism for anything. So we see here, it goes up to the South Lake, round, back down, does some coastal bits, and then back up, doing the lake again. 2 laps. Now, if you look at the profile just above the map, you'll see there's a couple of little bumps there. This is basically where you climb off the coast and go into the lake area, and the lake has a sort of lip around it, which causes a few little points where I think there might be attacks. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm sure somebody will have a good go at attacking. So, in store tonight, Zeb Norman leading the general classification, and he should, if all goes well for him, hold that from Eugene Korolov. Jorgen van Beurs, I think probably sufficiently ahead of John Sammet, but John Sammet is a strong rider, and if you look at the gap of 35 points, not beyond possibility that John Sammet could snatch that from Jorgen van Beurs. We'll have to wait and see. Ratio Racing are well in control of the team competition again. They'll stay in place. Tim Humpton looks very set for the best of 6, unless, of course, Seb Norman gets an exceptional result today. Now, Eileen Davidson is probably going to win the Ladies' League from Gail Robinson. However, it's the ladies' team classification, which is 7 points between West London ladies and Twickenham ladies. That holds all the intrigue here. Now, I know that both teams will put out, I'm hoping, Lisa West and Gail Robinson for Twickenham. We were looking at Eileen Davidson and Angela. We're going to go for West London ladies. One of the messages I was getting that Angela can't log on, so that bodes very well for the Twickenham ladies, and slightly disappointing for the West London ladies. And if Gail Robinson carries on the form she's shown in the last 2 races, then I think you'd put your money on Twickenham taking this. Let's see what Eileen can do to match that, and whether or not some of the West London ladies get out to match anything that Lisa does, Lisa West that is. So, exciting times. I think the odds slightly in favour of Twickenham as things stand. If Angela can get onto the race, probably much closer. Let's go over and have a look at the start line, see what we've got in store for this last race of 2024, last race of Series 2. 64 riders online. Excuse me, I'm just getting over illness here. So with 7 seconds to go, as I say, a little bit of coastal, then up to the lake, around the lake, and back down again, back up again. We'll see where the attacks are. A couple of riders. No, I think one rider, maybe 3 riders getting left on the start. Now, the first section is coastal. If you know what's going to happen next, you stay away from the bots at the front, the pacer. The trouble is, I think some people in their quest, you see Gail Robinson in the TCC kit, look out for her. A couple of people just getting level with the lead-out pacer and getting thrown back as you do. It's not critical at the moment. You can see the rider in white there, and probably one of the Electric Spirit. No, Electric Spirit changed their kit, haven't they? So everybody tucking behind the bot. I think the people who do get caught out are the ones chasing to get on the front group. There's no brakes, and once they catch the front group, go sliding through and level with the pacer. A rider just coming through going to get thrown back for that very reason, as you can see there, but not too damaging. Now, secondly, you begin to see the bot pulling away because the bot speeds up over this first neutral 1 kilometre, and by the end of the 1 kilometre mark, they will be doing 60 kph, which the peloton won't. So there is a point where actually you can start racing without fear of catching the pacer, because the pacer will start outpacing the peloton, which we can see now. 17 kilometres to go, and the race is clearly on because nobody's going to catch the pacer bot right now, and he goes through the Flambe Blanc, which is the 1 kilometre marker, and the race is well and truly on. 63 riders in the pack, a little bit lower than we've been having recently. One of those things. I wonder how many people did have trouble logging on. I mean, certainly I've got a few messages saying that people had. 63 riders on there. One will be a bot, so that's 62 finishers in the last race. So who's out front? It's John Sammet. As I said, I mean, John Sammet gets a really, really good run on the Organ van Beurs, then he's got a good chance of taking third spot. And I think, knowing John, as you can see there, Pokemotion in the bright orange, he will have a good go at this. He will have a very good go. He's been chased down by Alistair McAlpine, Ludwig Karlberg, Johan Paru from Union Cycliste Tonnaise, and Roman Hubli, the Slovenian. Zeb Norman up there. Now, if Zeb Norman can get in the top 2 or 3, I think he could just nick the 6th of a best competition classification as well as the general classification. So Zeb, I think, will have a good go at this, but there's some big names in there, and it might, on this sort of course, be a little bit of a lottery to see who you're left with at the end. Roman Hubli now taking up things on the front. Zeb Norman in the chase with Johan Peru, and Matthias Bergqvist, Alistair McAlpine, John Sammet, Rudi Garcia from France, and Alex Plager from Ratio Racing. Of course, Jorgen van Beurs in there, Tim Cummins, of course, all in the chase as we get down to 15.7 kilometres to go. Coming in land now, but at this stage we're slightly on a -2 trajectory because we've got an over the lip of the lake, and we're going through that one now. That's lit up, 1 lap to go. That's because basically there was a lead in up to this, which was kind of not on the loop. So there's 2 laps from here plus the lead in, which we've done, and that's why that particular arch was lit up, saying 1 lap to go. Christian Edge in that group, Nick Greenhouse, of course, Ratio Racing in the 10, who we haven't mentioned so far. Now then, John Sammet still pushing on the front, and Roman Hubli chasing him. Matthias Bergqvist, the Swede, in third place. Johan Peru, Union Cycliste Tonnaise. And so I think we've mentioned Ludwig Karlberg in there. A phenomenal win the other day. Really, really good. Rudi Garcia, another of the Union Cycliste Tonnaise. Actually, they've got 2 riders in the top 10. Pretty good going for the French team there. It's Alistair McAlpine for Scotland from Glasgow United. Not shown as a team in these competitions. I'm never sure why they haven't bothered, but they haven't. And John Sammet now still making sure that he's on the front. I think, as I say, it's going to be on a couple of the ramps that we might see some attacks. However, do expect the big riders to put turns on the front. Matt Hammond in there for Ratio Racing, I see as well. Some big riders to put in turns on the front, basically with a view of just seeing who they can drop off the back. As we see João Pinino going off the front at the moment, the Portuguese in the white jersey there. The top 10 not particularly changing. John Back in there from Denmark with Jakob Huvid as well. It's an OTR rider we're looking at in there. Alistair McAlpine, of course, Matt Hammond, Jorgen van Beurs, Andrei Kajewski, great to see him in there as well. Christophe Contant from Pedlers, and Rudi Garcia we've mentioned, and so on and so forth. So 14 kilometres to go, 3 out of the way so far as they pile down the side of the lake on lap 1. 39 kph, 40 kph, just spinning it up a little bit there as this group not particularly showing any signs of breaking significantly at this moment. I'm not sure who got on the line in the ladies league. It'd be interesting to see if we can pick any of those out. Gail Robinson's certainly in there, and she's in this group as well, ahead of Alistair McAlpine. That bodes well for the Twickenham ladies team. As I say, I don't think she can catch Eileen Davidson, and they're going up the ramp now. Now, this is where the attacks happen. It's John Sammet, Ludwig Karlberg. Are they getting away? You can see how stretched that, only 7%, but enough to stretch that. Back at the top of this little lip now, 2%, 0%, and declining back down towards the sea. It's John Sammet. Have they done any damage? You can see some gaps there. What will happen on the descent will determine how these groups split up or not. Ludwig Karlberg, John Sammet, Nick Greenhouse off the front at the moment, but I think they'll get caught by Roman Hubli, Johan Peru, Alex Plaisir in there for Ratio as well. Here's a group further back. This is Eileen Davidson's group. She's with a couple of other West London riders, Top Jimmy and Richard Cordova. They've got, who else have they got with them? They've got, I'm just having a look now, Rob Bickers, Xavier Maitland coming up. They're just on this 7% climb. I think Eileen is now quite a way back from Gale in all of this. So remember, in the Ladies League, it's your best rider, the best lady rider gets 100 points, and you count back the positions to make the difference. Now, Natalia Saitsiva, second place in the Ladies League for quite a while, just losing it recently. She's in line for a podium position, and she's climbing up there just ahead of Andy Evans and Ian Hurst there on this 14% ramp. It gets very, very steep, and you can see how much it slows them down. 12.4 kilometres per hour. Other riders just over the front, Andre Human-Lazare, and we've mentioned most of the others in there. Rob Gilmore, Dawn Latimer in there, who we haven't previously mentioned, Gavin Grant for Twickenham. So I'm not seeing a second. Lisa West is in there for Twickenham Ladies. I'm not seeing a second West London rider at the moment. So this rather, Maria Vitsky's in there as well. But so far, with the two Twickenham Ladies ahead of the two West London ladies, I think the title is going Twickenham's way. As we watch Maria Vitsky slightly ahead of Lisa West. If you can make a gap there, it's going to be big. Harry Poe in between them, and remember, spaces in between them do matter a lot. Maria really going for it, but she's 14 seconds behind co-West London rider Andy Evans. Looking at Dawn Latimer here now, Gavin Grant for Twickenham as well, and just ahead of one of the Italian riders. So hitting back onto the front, it's 11.7 kilometres to go. Mark Rowbottom for Ratio, Mark Ratio for Rowbottom. It's probably both true. And all the top 10 in there that we're seeing, there are people you'd expect to see. John Sammer in there really pushing for that place, and it's really whether Jorgen van Beurs can hold John Sammer, and he is at the moment. They're both in that group. Zeb Norman comfortably in there. It will be about to finish for Zeb. If he can sit in the group and maybe get in that top four, I think he has a slim chance of just pinching that best of six trophy. If he draws level with Tim Humpson, I think we're going to have a tie break. I think in other tie breaks, I've decided the one who did the most races can have it, just out of a kind of, I suppose, no better explanation than kind of we participated more, we reward you for that. But that's not necessarily set in stone. As we watch the Ingmar van Beurs, Jorgen's brother, just losing the front spot to Roman Hubley. Ingmar sitting back a bit while Johan Peru and Mark Rowbottom go up front. Now these guys are at 49 kph and 0% gradient, which suggests there is quite an attritional pressure on the front, and this will thin the group. 10.6k to go, not halfway yet, but nevertheless, this sort of attrition can affect the race as they go past the back marker. And it's Ingmar van Beurs we're focusing on at the moment. Still 46 kph on 0%. We are inland, of course. You can see there's no coastal views next to us at the moment. So I think this group fairly solid. Quite a few riders, isn't there? Maybe 30 riders in that group at the moment. We've still got 63 in the race. We haven't lost anybody yet. But the loss of Angela for West London is going to be the big one tonight. A rider that tried to get on and couldn't. And as I say, I've seen more than one message about people not getting on tonight. So these, I'd say 25 or 30 riders off the front now, just pulling up alongside Mark Rowbottom, who's in second. Christian Edge out the front at the moment. Johan Peru now taking the lead. Christian Edge, 237 power. Suddenly zooms up to 376 as soon as I say that. Watch it drop now that I've said something different. Fairly moderate cadence at 75. So I think taking it comfortably. 2% though, as they head up the slope towards the lake again. And this is where I think we might lose one or two riders. Not necessarily at this stage of the climb, but I think possibly during the latter stages of it. This climb always looks spectacular when you go down it with the two sloped sides of the road inside the banks. Probably looks a bit more painful going up it, but you get more time to enjoy the scenery, I suppose. Andre Kajewski for Ratio Racing, the pole living in Manchester. Gal Robinson still in this group. No, she's not. I beg your pardon. She's 23 seconds behind with Matt Hammond. So this is the back of this group. Andrew Kajewski for Ratio, the last rider there, alongside John Samet for Pokemotion. Don't read anything to that. John is biding his time. He wants a win. He wants a big result. A couple of Ratio riders in there. Alex Plaisir, the other one. Great to see Alex still in the group. I know last time, or if I remember rightly, last time he did get dropped out of the group. I see, I think, about 5 Ratio jerseys in that front group. And Jorgen van Beurs, Imar van Beurs, Alex Plaisir, as you said. So quite a few. They've got quite a clear gap between the Matt Hammond group behind as we go past, and I'll come up with those arches, which are not relevant to this race because there's nothing in the box, the information box hanging down from them. And one of the Danish riders at the back there, I didn't quite catch who that one was, but anyway, it's 8.7 kilometres to go, so we're definitely just coming up to the halfway mark of this race as we look at this group. Again, still about 20-25 riders in it, and anybody in this group is capable of winning this race. Rudy Garcia, Nick Greenhouse, Christian Esch, Tim Cummins, Johan Peru, Matthias Bergqvist, who else we've got? Mark Rowbottom. Yeah, it's quite an elite bunch, this, isn't it? It's Nick Greenhouse off the front at the moment. He shall be collecting a whole bunch of Ratio awards. I think they're going to win the team competition fairly easily. Tim Cummins just taking a little push on the front. Gail Robinson in a group of 2 now. She's with Matt Hammond from Ratio in this group now, and she will use his wheel, and rightly so, and try and distance herself from certainly Eileen Davidson. We shall see Jeff Peters in there. I haven't seen Jeff for a while. Good to see you, Jeff, the Belgian rider. And I think Gail, as I say, I think she'll take Matt Hammond's wheel and just hope that Eileen Davidson and her have a big gap between. If there's something like, I'd say 5 spaces between Gail and Eileen, that's not going to be enough to win it on its own, and it'll go back to the gap between Lisa and Maria. And last time we looked, Maria was, I think, 1 place ahead of Lisa, so plenty to go for there. This is quite exciting, this ladies' race. And I think Gail's now on her own. She's going to make things slightly harder. I think, though, she's going to push and get back on Matt's wheel. She is, isn't she? She's making that one up, and good stuff too. That's going to bode well. Looks like she's actually going to go past Matt, so I'm not sure that was intended, or she's just hit a bit of road she likes and doesn't need his wheel. Now Matt chasing to get on her wheel as they go through 1 lap to go. So we're now on the second lap. Remember, I explained that there are 2 laps, but there's a lead-in section as well when we pass that barrier for the first time. So this is what is effectively the final lap of about 7.1 kilometres to go, and the race will now be decided. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you can see the profile. There's a yellow arrow pointing downwards. That's basically focused on the rider we're on, which at the moment is Roman Hubli, the Slovenian rider who's off the front at the moment from Johan Peru, from Tonon in the east of France on the banks of Lake Léman, or Lake Geneva, whichever you prefer to call it, depending on whether you're a German or French speaker, of course. Roman sitting comfortably off the front. I don't think anybody's really getting dropped off that group. There are a couple of riders a little bit away off the back, but it looks like they're pulling onto the back of this. 1% gradient as we go over the lip of the lake inland. Nick Greenhouse taking a turn on the front. Whether or not this is an attack or he's just got a better cadence for the climb, I don't really know, but it looks like Roman Hubli is taking back the lead. Alice McAlpine in there for Glasgow United, along with Johan Peru and the UCT. 2 UCT, we haven't mentioned T. Pujon-Bron, who's also Theo Pujon-Bron, not previously mentioned, another UCT rider in there, Rudy Garcia. That's 3 UCT riders in there. So the Tonnonnais putting up a very, very good display in this particular series towards the latter stages. Remember, we're taking January off because Tour du Monde's on. I think we have an advert for Tour du Monde if you want to see what it's all about. But that will be happening during January on IV. So we'll take a little break, let you do that, so that you're not spoilt for choice and have to split and make a decision. Here it is, it's 12 stages. It's fairly full on, you have to commit yourself. But of course you can do individual races, you don't have to do all 12, and they will be great. OTR running that one, of course. ZMS will be broadcasting it. So that's why we won't be here in January. And just remember, the next 2 Mondays are Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Christmas Day, we've put a non-competitive race on. You don't need to do it. It's not part of this series. On New Year's Day, we haven't got anything on at the moment. And we will start again on February the 5th. So just taking January off. And it's Alice McAlpine going off the front. Now, there has been a big split here, hasn't there? And John Sammer is in this front group, which might enable him to get a few places on Jorgen van Beurs for the 6 of the best. Gap's not massive. We're only talking 2 or 3 seconds back, and descents can change. Tim Cummins, excuse me, just falling off that group a little bit on the descent. I'm a bit surprised at that. In real life, Tim always says to me, he's too scared going down the descent. He's not good at descending. But online, I'm not really sure. You know, Tim, I'm not really sure that that's an excuse in online racing as we watch Ingmar van Beurs now. The group has split up on that last little climb as we go round with just 5 kilometres to go. Quite decisive. Roddy Garcia now in this particular Theo Puigdemont is in focus now in white there for Tonon. And he's just, I think, about to catch up with Alex Plaisir for Ratio Racing. Ratio Racing team category elect winners. And I think it's going to be so interesting to see how the ladies one finishes. I think the odds are on Twickenham right now, but we shall see. I'm not quite sure what the gap is between Eileen and Gail. And Gail's probably not in a position to make up many more places. And I'm not sure whether Eileen is or isn't. We shall see at the end. Only a handful of points in it, remember. Roman Hubley there. Now, this is Theo Puigdemont. He's just off the back of the group, 1 second off Joris Net, who we haven't previously mentioned. And it's amazing how these people can sit in a group and you don't pick them up till later in the race when it really starts thinning out. But you can see how much these front groups have thinned out, can't you? They are much smaller than they were before. As we look at the Joris Net, the German rider, and look at the gap back now to 11 seconds back to Ingmar van Beurs, Rudy Garcia and Jorgen van Beurs. Jorgen quite away now behind John Sammet, so that might be very, very interesting. Is Jorgen likely to lose that podium position? Now, we won't have all the standings for you immediately during this broadcast, but if you give it about 15 minutes after the race and go to westlondoncycling.com, you will be able to see the standings. I'll get them up there as soon as possible. I reckon about 15 minutes. It can be slightly more, slightly less, but certainly give it about 15 minutes after we stop broadcasting, not after the winner crosses the line, but after we stop broadcasting. Give it about 15 minutes and I should have the results on westlondoncycling.com. So there is a tab there for the latest standings on the left hand side of the page. It should be fairly obvious. You just click it and it'll take you through to the standings. Anyway, just 3 kilometres to go before we wrap up 2024 for Monday Malarkey. Thanking everybody who's been involved with it, particularly the riders. You've given us so much entertainment. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thanks very much to ZMS, who've been superb in helping with all these broadcasts. Look forward to teaming up with you again in February, Damon, when we start again with Monday Malarkey. February the 5th, the first one will be back. Roman Hubley now there. As I say, thanks to everybody else who's been involved, the support from the indieVelo team, of course, the people who run the Facebook groups, Damon and ZMS for the broadcasts, and the riders in particular for just being part of this. Absolutely fantastic. Joris Nick now, pedalers on your screen at the back of this group, 16 seconds ahead of Roddy Garcia. So that's 16 seconds on the Jorgen van Beurs group, and a further 6 seconds on Tim Cummins, who I think was on his own. And this is what happens. I think a bit of pressure in the latter stages is usually what breaks the groups up. And if you do fall out of a group, find yourself solo, it is very, very, very hard to get back on. Only 2.5k to go. Well, Tim's not on his own. Look, he's got a little crew around him. Kristen Medge from Pokemotion and Frederick Foulon. Oh, we haven't mentioned Frederick so far. Tony Martin Lake, haven't mentioned him so far. Gail Robinson, 33 seconds behind. Still with Matt Hammond. Matt Hammond providing a bit of aid, I suspect. I might be being a bit unfair there because he's suddenly sitting on Gail's with. And it looks like Andrei Kajewski's in that little group now. So Gail finding herself in a little group, which could be useful just in sustaining a challenge. Here she is. She's got Andrew Kajewski and Matt Hammond, the two Rasso riders, but she's doing all the work, not them at the moment. And they're being gentlemanly about it, maybe, and moving in front. No, just sitting on her wheel, letting her do the work. She certainly has motivation to do it. Stevie Cooper's a little bit behind. Here comes one of the ECKD riders. It's Christian Edge joining that group as well. And Stevie Cooper is 40 seconds behind these guys now. The thing is, what Gail needs to do is not let these guys beat her in a sprint. She could lose 3 places if she does, and that would be 3 points in the Ladies' League lost for Twickenham. And Jakob Huvid now from ECKD just falling off this a little bit as Stevie Cooper narrows it down to 39 seconds. Gordon Jackson, the legendary Gordon Jackson. There's 3 legends in a row here, isn't there? Like David Jones, Gordon Jackson, and Craig Jones. It's the Jones boys. There used to be a group on Philadelphia International Records called the Jones Girls. Shirley Jones, remember them? Nights Over Egypt was one of the big records. Did have the pleasure of actually interviewing them once for a magazine. There we are. That was in a different career when I was younger, had more hair, better looks, and probably with better jokes. Anyway, back to the race. There's the gap identified. Nick Greenhouse off the group. A little bit surprised at that. That's unlike Nick to fall off. He's lost 11 seconds. People in front of him, and he's got Xavier Maillard a further chunk behind him, about 45 seconds. So a little bit of no man's land. I mean, I don't think Nick's going to make that up towards the end of the race. And we're looking at the front group. They've got very little of the race left. Probably going to have a look at those. With 500 metres to go, it's John Samet. And this is big because if he can hold some places off here, he's got a chance at the podium. And I think he knows this. He's calculated this. He's going for it. He's got Joris Nit on his wheel. He's got Ludwig Karlberg. Both of these can win a sprint. Roman Hubley too. He might lose a couple of places, but he's going to lose a couple of places. Roman Hubley and Ludwig Karlberg battling this one out. Is Ludwig at the moment? He's just holding off Roman. Roman can do it, but I don't think he's going to. This is Ludwig's, and Ludwig just holds on at the end. And I think John Samet got 3rd or 4th there, which should. And oh, look at this one, and that is Mark Rothbottom just taking that little chase. Here's Ingmar van Beers and Jorgen van Beers. They're 13th. I think this is going to be enough. And Ingmar not doing his brother any favours, being in front of him, and Rudy Garcia just overtaking Jorgen as well. 6 seconds behind Jorgen is Tim Cummins. So Ingmar not really helping his brother there. He should. I say helping his brother. I mean, I don't know how competitive or brotherly they are. Ingmar absolutely going for it as well. And Ingmar taking that one. And Jorgen having to settle for 15. 14 points might be enough for John Samet. We'll have to have a look. As we watch Preston Edge getting in there, Tim Cummins taking 3rd in that group. Jakob Huvid now, ECKD. He's got 300 metres to go. He's got a good 30 seconds on Gail Robinson, though. He's going to lose... Sorry, 30 seconds. No, he hasn't. And Matt Hammond has overtaken Jakob. So Matt Hammond has certainly beaten Gail, but it looks like she's going to beat Andrew Kajewski. She's not going to catch Jakob Huvid now. So here comes Gail. She's going to finish 22nd, which is a good result, and she's held off the other guys, the rest of the group there. Looking now at Stevie Cooper, uncharacteristically way back at 24th, and it's all about now, where is Arlene Davidson? Where's she going to finish in relative terms? So 22nd for Gail Robinson, and I think anything like 10 spaces is probably going to hand this to Twickenham. This is Stevie Cooper now, 7 seconds ahead of David Jones, one of the legends. Crystal Palace fan, I can confirm. Palace diehard, and David Jones will come in next after Stevie Cooper. There he comes, not wearing. Oh, it's Craig Jones just about to take that. Jeff Peters and an OTR rider as well. Oh, look at that sprint! That was fantastic. OTR rider just holding on for that one as they cross the line. This is Nick Greenhouse. Something's wrong. Nick Greenhouse doesn't finish in 36th. Something has gone wrong, and I suspect the thing is, what's strange about this, Nick has continued pedalling, and I don't think it's a dropout. So something else has happened on his machine, and Nick doesn't ride around like this, sitting up like that. So 11th was Mark Rowbottom. Theo Pigeon-Bron was 12th. Ingmar van Beers at 13th, holding off Jorgen van Beers, who did nick the place from Buddy Garcia just to take that extra space. Christian Edge at 16th, Tony Martin Lake at 17th. As we watch Nick Greenhouse finish in a very, very uncharacteristic 36th. He's ahead of John Bott, the Danish rider, coming in now. He's got clear 16 seconds on. Now, Eileen Davidson is going to be not close enough, I think, because Gail got 22nd. Eileen Davidson is going to be in the 40s. I think Twickenham are going to win the ladies' championship here, and congratulations to them. We'll have to see if there's any gaps between Marcia and Lisa West, but I don't think that will be enough to make up the gap now between the other lady riders. Oh, look at that little sprint at the end there. Pedro Bartholomew, top Jimmy, coming in just ahead of Eileen Davidson, 46th. That is 24 points. That's going to give it to Twickenham. So Twickenham are the Ladies' League champions. That was a close one. I think West London very much hampered by the fact that Angela couldn't log on tonight. David Jones 26th. As we can see there, Martin B. As we watch John Rogers coming in with Andre Lazare. That's interesting. With the Basque flag. They're not quite finished yet, but they've got a kilometre to go. But we don't often see the Basque flag, do we? I assume it's the Basque flag. It looks quite like it. Craig Jones at 22nd, the man with the Great Welsh kit, 2 places behind David Jones. Clive Byron from OTR, not previously given a mention. Nick Lee from Westerly, 29th. Jeff Peters at 30th. David Buckley at 31st, who we didn't pick up in the race. As we watch John Rogers now just sitting on the wheel of Andre Lazare. As I say, well, it's a Basque flag, I believe. Andy Evans, so they're 48th. And we've got, 61 riders, probably 60 finishers now in this race, which is way down on what we've been getting. It is the end of the series, and it is the Christmas party season. So it is what it is. Natalia Zaiteva there, we see coming in at 50, 60, 61st. 51st. Sorry, I beg your pardon. So she should hold on to a podium position in the Ladies' League. It'll be interesting to see how that one plays out with the podium positions. And I think John Rogers just pulling away a little bit, but Andre responding now. 300, 400 metres to go. John Rogers putting his foot down a little bit more on the rivet, which is what OTR stands for, if ever you wondered. OTR running that Tour du Monde. Don't forget, we're away during January, back on February the 5th. And John Rogers now powering home. Andre just responding a little bit, but I think he's left it too late. Realises that, sits up and lets John take 48th position. And here comes Andre over the line. So Oliver Duckwitz, sorry, I should say, is after Ian Hurst, whom we're currently watching. Ian Hurst with 200 metres to go, just coming home. He's got 3 seconds on Oliver Duckwitz and Andy Evans, and I think he will hold that. And I'm looking down, and I think Lisa West is ahead of Maria Witsky, which is going to absolutely nail it for the Twickenham ladies. And I'll say that. He's Andy Evans. I think they are pretty much odds on for that as we watch Andy Evans crossing the line. Natalia coming next. Maria Witsky is 2 places behind Lisa West, and that will confirm they are together. But I think you can't make up the difference now. It is going to be Twickenham ladies, as we've already said. Dawn Latimer in there also in the ladies' race with that little trio of ladies, Lisa West, Maria Witsky, and Dawn Latimer. Natalia Zaiteva now coming home for the ladies for the ladies, second place, I believe. Just third place, I think. But anyway, we shall check all that. It'll be on westlondoncycling.com very, very soon. This is Tony Ritzowski. He's with Salvatore Caruo from ADR, who's coming home now. Well done, guys. Robert Gilmore now has got just 500 metres to go. He's ahead of Gavin Grant, another Twickenham rider. Gavin running a cycle holiday centre down there in the Pyrenees, on the French side of the Pyrenees, opening summer 2024. We're going down there, a group of us from West London Cycling. Absolutely looking forward to that. And no doubt Gavin will be rubbing in how well Twickenham ladies did in this series. Don't worry, we're back on February the 5th. We'll start again. We'll see how that goes. Very well done to the Twickenham ladies. Gavin Grant just wheeling home Lisa West there. And I think they've cut out another second or so between Mirievitsky. We'll have to see. Robert Gilmore now, just 220 metres to go before I think we get confirmation that it's not possible for West London ladies to claw back the difference in the Ladies League. Robert Gilmore now finishing. We should go back to the little posse at the end and watch the glory of it. Here they are, Twickenham and West London ladies in there, along with Gavin Grant. That's Lisa West for Twickenham ladies, Mirievitsky for West London ladies, Gavin Grant for Twickenham men. Dawn Latimer, the other lady in the group. Dawn in the purple, I'm guessing. It's actually Lisa West pushing out. Mirievitsky's trying to stay on a wheel, but I think Lisa's just got a little... Oh, no, sorry, that's Gavin Grant off the front, isn't it? It's Gavin Grant powering home. I beg your pardon, I assumed that was Lisa going for points. Lisa now is going to... I just lost track of that. Honestly did. Looking over on the left-hand side, I think Dawn Latimer just beat Lisa West there. So Maria taking 2 places on Lisa, I think, but that not enough. The gap between a superb finish from Gail Robinson and a good finish from Eileen Davison, but just not quite suiting the West London ladies riders. Looking at the top finishers once again, Ludwig Karlberg, Roman Hubley, Alistair McAlpine, Johan Peru, Matthias Bergfist, John Samet, Joris Neer, fantastic finish for pedallers with teammate Christophe Contant from the Rhone Valley, Massy Central area around Clermont-Ferrand in France. Alex Plaisir for Ratio riding. Zeb Norman finishing 10th, but that should be enough to hold on to the championship. Electric Spirit. Well done, Zeb Norman. Fantastic. John Samet, we should check out whether you got that podium position, but I think you're pretty close with 6. We shall find out. Alice McAlpine at 3rd. Great finish, Alistair. What a way to finish off the series. So congratulations to everybody. Zeb Norman, I don't think that's going to be enough for Zeb to take the best of 6. So Tim Humpton looking like the winner of that. And as I say, all can be checked out. I think Eileen Davidson, in compensation to her, is going to win the Ladies League individual classification. So let's congratulate all the winners. They will be confirmed if you give me about 15 minutes, make it 20 to be safe. From the moment we stop broadcasting, we should have the results on westlondoncycling.com. That's westlondoncycling.com. That's the end of the series. It's the end of the year. Happy New Year, Happy Christmas, all the other season's greetings, and whatever faith you are, greetings to your faith accordingly. It's as I say, it pains me to say it, but we're not going to be around in January. There's lots of other things to do. Tour du Monde is going to be the focus on indieVelo. Make sure you're on that and get yourself fit and ready for Series 3 of West London VR starting Monday, February the 5th. Look forward to seeing you at that and have a very, very good festive season. Thank you, Damon and ZMS, as usual.